Alright, so today's webinar is about decorating the cake and drawing a gift in 3D using Feather. And I'll be going through my live demonstrations and showing you the key functions of Feather together. Just to shortly introduce our team first, we are Sketchsoft, and as you all know, we opened the beta version of Feather in 2021, and then Feather was officially released last year in November. It's been just a year since then. And so this is Feather. You can draw in 3D with a tablet and a pen device easily. And I'm going through this introduction really quick since a lot of things are already online introducing about our app. So to jump in right away to what we were planning for today is to do the decorating the cake with using the template. So you can go through selecting and transforming tools. And next we are gonna do the drawing the gift. So I can show you how to draw in this kind of style using Feather. So all after that, we would go through all the questions that you leave in the chat or raise your hand anytime, and I will let you speak and let you ask what you want to know more about. All right. So here you can see my iPad and my hands live. And this template was specially given to the people who registered for the Feather's first year cake event. And to keep the original template safe, I'm gonna select this note and duplicate it and move it to another folder so I don't get confused. And then I'll start decorating it. So if you open the template, it's a really nice cake and all the decorations you can use to create your own version of Feather birthday cake. And if you see open the group panel here, you can see that every group is named by which item you want to select. So if you long press candle number 2, here it's being selected, and you can also check it on the list of the group. And after you select it, the select mode is on, and you can see the joystick here, which you can use to move around or transform the shape of the item you selected. So for today, I think I will first choose my number 1 candle. I would like this blue one to go on top. So if you see, I'm using my fingers to view around in the 3 dimension. So with 1 finger, I can view around. With 2 fingers, of course, I can zoom in and out. With my 3 fingers, I can change the field of view. Like this. And also with 1 finger, if you double tap, you can directly go to the straight view of the closer one. Like this. And also with the 3 fingers, if you double tap, you can see that you can change the camera mode to orthogonal and then again to perspective views. And then I have to use moving around the view, because then it helps me move the items I selected to exactly where I want. So I go to the side and move once, and then from the top I have to check the placement again. And if I want to make this candle bigger, I can choose this to make it bigger, but if I want to keep the proportion in 3-dimensional, I have to lock my scale and then I can scale it up so it gets bigger in all directions. Then I'm gonna tilt it a little bit like this in the back. Or maybe this time I'm gonna bring it to the middle of the part, so the candle is in the middle. And then next, I already have one candle, so I'm gonna make the other candles invisible, which I won't use for today. So with this icon, you can turn on or off the visibility of each groups. After that, I want to find the logo here of feather to decorate my cake. It's on the top here. And also I'm gonna move it to the middle of my cake. And also make it bigger, so it matches with the number 1 candle together in the middle. I think this is good enough, but maybe I want to make it also more thicker because it became bigger. Then I select the strokes, and then if I change the brush size here from this brush panel, you can also change the thickness of the strokes I chose. So I make it slightly thicker. I think now it looks better. And now it's time to decorate it with the fruits. So first I'll move the blueberries to the top of my cake. Since everything I put in the middle already, so now my fruits has to be in the side. It looks a bit too big, so this time I'm gonna make it smaller. Yes, it looks good, and I actually like blueberries, so I would like more of them. There are several ways to duplicate it. So first, you can select the whole group and actually duplicate the group here. So copy the group, and you have another blueberry group you can choose. Or if you want the blueberries to be also in the same group, you can use this icon here, which helps you duplicate, but in this same group. So now this blueberries number 1 group has 2 sets of blueberries, like this. And then after, if you just want to choose 1 set of the blueberry in this group, you have to go to the select tool and then select it by yourself by using the pen like this. Then I'm gonna place it where I want it to be. And maybe one more, so I can make it look like a bit symmetric. And now I also want the lemons and the strawberries here, so I find the lemon. One of the cakes decorated by our users used the lemon like this, which looked really nice. So I'm also gonna try this style here. Maybe in the back, like this. So then the lemon is like popping out of the cake. I think 1 lemon looks good. And then with the strawberries also, I'm gonna move it towards my cake. But this also looks a bit too big, so I'm gonna change the size and rotate the cake. Rotate it. And okay. the strawberry needs to be bigger than the blueberry. So I keep it in this size. And one more. If just duplicating it in the same like direction is a bit boring, maybe I'm this time gonna use the other icon here, so it duplicates in the mirror side. So now it's actually not like exactly the same. I think I'm gonna put the strawberry here and a bit smaller, like this. Okay. And I want this big strawberry again in the front also. So here. So if you see, the rotating point is actually in the middle, this cross. So if I don't want to move the strawberry like in this big angle, I have to go to the strawberry and set this cross in the middle of the strawberry and rotate it. So now my cake is actually quite full of fruits. And here, everything looks fine. Okay, but here the logo and the strawberry actually crashed, so I'm gonna move the logo a little bit. More towards the middle, so it doesn't crash with anything. Maybe now it's fine. Yes. Alright, I think for now it's good enough. I decorated all the fruits and the logo and one candle for the number 1. The flag, I would use it on the plate. So I move it here and put it next to the Feather Day. So tilt it a little bit. Also rotate it a bit from the top here. And I think I'm quite done. This. And then afterwards, one more thing I could do is I can select the cake part and change the color of it. So maybe I can make it into a chocolate, kind of more chocolate cake. And last, I can go to the environment settings and check which mode I like more. So this is the fog effect. It makes the drawings in the back more foggy, and this turns it off, and I like the brighter mode, so I'm gonna keep it in this way. I don't need the grid anymore, so I can turn this off, and then also change the background colors here. Our birthday event, like main color, was mostly yellow, so I'm gonna change it into the yellow color for today. And it looks nice with the lemon and the chocolate cake color. So here it is. After I finish my drawing, I can set like the best view of my drawing here, and then I will save the thumbnail camera so I can recognize this drawing easily from the folders. And then I can also make a public link of my drawing and share it with my friends, and also export it into a turntable GIF. And I think for the cupcake, the GIF turntable actually really matches well. And I'll save it. And this is it. Just to use the templates, I didn't really use any drawing functions. I just only used the groups and then the selecting mode. And I think this is like a really nice way to experience and learn how to view around and get used to the three-dimensional space inside this digital app if you are pretty new to the 3D graphic tools. So this template was given for the people who registered for the first year event, but actually if you download Feather, for everyone we are giving out this cupcake decorating template. You can find it in your app, and you can also try yourself using the template to get used to the three-dimensional space. And then next I will show you how to draw in 3D. So this was like the original drawing that you could see in the poster of this whole event. So I drew this gift box, and then the tablet that looks like Feather is on in a three-dimensional space with also this pen going through. So it's I tried to make this drawing look like a really simple doodle, but actually something that people could view around in three-dimensional space. So I tried to make the compositions very in different angles that looks nice. And the main point is that I use the colors really simple, but I draw all the outlines that could make the characters of the drawings. So it looks like actually like a 2D doodling, but in 3D. So let me show you a quick demo of drawing this. So first I open a new note, and for just the fast basic, first line I draw becomes the guide, and then I can draw on top of the guide, and it's drawn on top, so that's how it makes this kind of three-dimensional stroke. And then I'm gonna repeat this to draw in the 3D space. So to draw a box for the gift, I will draw the top first. So to quickly go through, it's like I draw one and then I copy it actually. And also I could use the mirror mode here, which makes it a bit more faster even. So this blue line becomes the baseline of the mirror. I can choose which direction I need the mirror on. So if I choose this one here, going through like this, I could draw a box in this side. And if I wanted to draw more straight, I can toggle once more the drawing icon, and it helps me draw more straightly, like this. Or if I hold it, I can also change the directions. And here I can change the type of my brush. So this one doesn't get thinner in the edge. And I will draw the box. But for my style of drawing that I did, I liked to make the feeling that it's actually drawn in hands. So I don't use this drawing neatly mode, but I actually do it with my hands. So even these kind of little errors and the look that it was like really the hand trying to draw it straight fits the style more, I think. And then because the mirror mode, I have it already in the both sides. So then I will choose these two, turn off the mirror mode and duplicate it, and also lock it so I can rotate it by 15 degrees. So go until 90 degrees and make the squares go around. Then I can also do it from the top. So I have all the 6 sides of this cube. And use the group panel actually more than you think, so you can separate each groups, which helps you manage the drawings later. So I add one more, and now I will do the colorings. For the coloring, I draw just the guide a bit more behind the black line. And before I do, I add the preset of the current brush so I can keep the settings for the black lines. Then I choose the color I want. And I make it more thicker for coloring so I don't have to color it like too much. And I try to do the coloring everything at once because that helps reduce the size of the file in Feather. So if you see, the strokes are not in 2-dimensional, it's actually a 3-dimensional pipe. So the guide I drew is in the middle and then the pipe is going through. So that's why I put the guide a bit behind the black line. So the black line is on top of my coloring, so it still shows. So after I did one side of the coloring, I'm gonna do the same as I did before. So I select it and copy it and color all the sides. So now I have this yellow box. So then the next is drawing the ribbon on top. Also, I'm gonna use the mirror mode so I don't have to draw all the way. So I make the shape of the drawing of the ribbon I wanted. I think I want to make the ribbon more bigger than the box this time. Goes around. Like this. To draw the bottom part, I don't need the coloring so I can see through it. And then for more volume, I'm gonna add one line here. Like this. Also one in the bottom, but as if like this. Maybe in the opposite direction, so it looks like it has the volume going this way. Then the middle part of the ribbon here. Then from the front, and the stripes flying out. This time I'm not going to use the mirror because I don't want to make everything so symmetric. Now I have all the outlines of the ribbon and then the box. And also let me draw the ribbons going to the side. This one I'm gonna use the mirror again. And for now, this is it. And I turn on the colors again. And then now I'm gonna draw the coloring parts of the ribbon. Again, it's the same. So I draw a bit inside. And then I will color it with the color I want. So let me do this a bit more faster. After I do the coloring, it will look like the ribbon needs a bit more lines, like for the thickness of the ribbon actually. So I'm gonna add them afterwards, like in the bottom and then off the edges. To make the edges Since I just did the coloring in the different group, I can go to the other group that I did the drawings and select them easily, like this. And then I will also duplicate it and make it go like more underneath. Shrink it a little bit so it can fit the size. So I adjusted so it looks better. So these parts, it's the same. It might look like it doesn't really fit, but these little gaps actually make the drawing look more dynamic if I view around in 3 dimensions. So I mostly just keep the lines like this. And maybe this time here, I'm just gonna draw it again. And here in the edges, I don't always have to go to the straight view to draw, so here I connect the 2 dots. Looking from a specific angle, I turn around and I connect the lines like this, so it looks like the edge of the ribbons. So now it looks more better because the ribbons actually have the thicknesses, not just flat. And also in the middle here. And this part is also important, so I can go here and draw it. Maybe I'm also gonna color in this front part of the ribbon. If I forgot to keep the blue color like in the palette, I can use this stroke picker. I just need to go to the group that has the stroke, choose this icon and pick the color I want. And then this doesn't just pick the color, but also the size and the transparency information of the stroke. If you just want to use the color picker, you have to go here and pick the color. So now I have my blue color back, so I can color the front part of this ribbon here. And then I go back to the group where I had the lines. I use the black color stroke again. And draw a bit more here in the front if I want it to. Yes. Some little details. And here in the middle, I don't want these black lines here anymore, so I can erase them. And also add a bit more coloring in this part, so it has more volume in the middle also. Alright, I think it looks better than before. So in the front it has the thickness, then also from the back I think I need. Here I got my gift box. And actually drawing the iPad with the icons of feather and then also the pen, it's like basically in the same way I drew the gift. So it might be too long if I go through all the drawings, but just one small tip that I wanted to give is that as I did, I draw the gift straight, and then I would also draw the iPad like straight, you know, vertical or horizontal from the guide, like from the default mode. Maybe I would say I draw like this. And then afterwards, after I finish all the drawings, I will tilt and rotate them and find the composition I want. Because it's hard to go to the straight mode and draw something that is tilted like this. So if you see, if I want to draw something on the screen, it's hard to go to the straight and draw exactly in the way or proportion I want. So first just draw in the straight way, and then afterwards you need to tilt them. And then if I go to choose also the gift, I choose all the groups like this, and then I can rotate it as if it's popping out from the screen. And it's the same for the pen. So I did all the drawings first, and even I would hide all the gift and then just draw the iPad and then hide it and then draw the pen. So I draw each items I need one by one, putting them, placing them in the middle is easier to use the mirror mode also, so it helps a lot. And then I will compose them in this scene, like in the way I want afterwards. So I guess this could be like my small tip, and there are more features that I didn't really share for today, but there are also a lot of different features that you could use in Feather. So for example, I went through the drawing mode and then also drawing neatly, and then I used the eraser for like erasing the small parts. And also if you toggle once more, you can erase the whole stroke at once here. We did the select tool already a lot with decorating the cake. And then you can use the mirror mode for drawing, but also for transforming. So if I show you really quick, if you draw with the mirrors activated, it makes the drawings like symmetrically in this way, but also if you select them, they move symmetrically too. So if something like the object is actually all symmetric, it's really easy for you to use the mirror modes for both drawing and selecting and transforming. And here there is the clipboard you can use for reference images. You can bring the panel anywhere you want. It's not in the 3D screen. You can change the size, add any images here and use it as a reference board. You can put up to 2 images, and anytime you want to put this image into the 3D screen, you can by this menu mode here if you have an image already. You can also change the transparency of the image and lock it if you want to, you know, keep the reference image here. And anytime you need it and you don't need it, you can just press this icon here. And with the groups, you can also see the second part here, and you can choose any file you want to import. You can import image files in the 3D scene, or choose an OBJ file and draw on top of it, or draw with it as a reference. And here we already checked the environments. And then for exporting, I only showed you the GIF file format, but you can actually view and go to the scene you want and export it into PNG or GLTF files really quick. If you want to have more settings, you can go here and change the file formats also record a video. So if you start recording, you can start and record the way you are viewing around and stop, and then it saves the video in the way you viewed around. Also, you can toggle the groups here, so you can set which group you want to show and not. And then for the 3D files, you have GLTF and OBJ file formats to export, so you can use it in other 3D softwares you are already using. And I think this was more or less all I wanted to show you for 3D drawing in this kind of style for today. And these were all the functions we've mostly went through. One thing I missed, I think, is that you can also put the exact numbers of thickness or transparency you want in the brush panels also. And the groups, selecting mode, changing the image clipboard, and here, okay, it explains a bit more of the OBJ file imported and the images imported. Here with the cube icons, you can toggle it to make it visible or not, or you want to activate it so you can draw on top of it or not. But if any other resources are activated, you can't draw a new guide anymore, so that's one thing you might want to know before you use the resources. And about exporting, and some things to show you maybe next time is that we can view in AR. So if you press view AR, you can view the drawing you did right away in the AR mode. And with finger pen, it's for the people who wants to use the tablet without the pen device, but with the fingers, or with the capacitive pens, not like a specific device as an Apple Pencil. And this was it. So this is one of the examples of a decorated cupcake that I've explained that you could get the templates in your own apps. And this is like another style of my drawing. It's just drawing only with lines, because today I did the colorings like filling in and with the outlines, but this one is just with lines. It's a really simple drawing. And here, this one is also different styles. This one I didn't do the outlines for the characters, and then the other one is like trying to do a watercolor style using the transparency of the brushes. So now I would like to get any questions if you have. Just let me know if you wanted me to explain a bit more about specific features of Feather, or something that you would like to hear from me. You could just go to the chat in our webinar channel and I will answer. Okay, so if we don't have any questions, I would like to finish this webinar for today here. So thank you for joining our webinar, and hope you had a nice time and it helped you understand Feather a bit more than before. And if you would like to give any ideas or thoughts about our webinar, please go to this QR code and do a short survey for us. All right, then. Thank you.